main area in your time studies is always going to be your elements here. So you have the elements here at the top left. You click on that and you will see it brings up a screen, and it will give you a get part, and then you can add up to 300 elements here. And down at the bottom here you can see you have the ability to add, edit, delete. This takes you back to the previous screen. Move elements up, down, move left, and move right. So the simplest case would be to add a particular element. You just tap on the area where you want to add it. So let's say I want to add it under get part. I say add, and I might say walk to storage. And here I can say whether it's value added, non-value added, or required non-value added. So I'm going to say this is required but non-value added. Is there any delay? None. An avoidable delay, an unavoidable delay. And then we can have a 1 alpha category here for grouping elements together, and we can also define a sequence. If you have a repetitive job, you can say it's elements 1, 2, 3, 4, that type of thing. So it rotates around 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at the bottom here we can also pick out a selection format from our defined selection formats here. So I'm just going to leave this here. I'm just going to say I'm done here, and you can see it's added that particular element. It's flagged it as being required but not non-value added. So now you can do a pick stock. So we just add another one here, and we just go to the next one. And that's going to be value added work content. There's no delays involved. And let's say we wanted to assign a particular category to that. So we could maybe say that's a picking stock. So we might say a capital P, for instance, right here. And then we just say we're done. And you can see that shows up here. So you can see this is a sequence. This is a non-value added or value added. This is the delays. This is the categories right here. And so forth. We keep on adding them as we get down the screen here. Now if I wanted to assign a sequence, I could maybe go back to the number 1 here. I'm going to edit it this time. And I'm going to put a sequence in here. Touch the sequence. It comes up with a numeric keypad because it knows what numbers you're looking to put in here. You can define numbers between 1 and 99 here. And they don't have to be contiguous, so you can have multiple sequences. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that type of thing. So you can have different sequences within your cycle here. And when I'm done, I just say I'm done. And now the sequence number 1 comes up here. I'm going to assign sequence number 2 to the second item. So put a 2 in here. And put a 3 in the third one. Edit. Tap on the sequence, select the 3, and say I'm done. So now I've actually got a sequence. Get part, walk to storage, pick stock. And we can actually then go and run this. So if I say back and I want to do a study, it takes me out here. You can see my elements. Since I've got a sequence defined, when I hit the start button, it's going to look for sequence number 1, and it brings up the get part. When that finishes, I just hit the time button. It moves on the walk to storage, and then hit the time button at the end of that, and it moves on to pick stock. Now that's the end of our sequence, 1, 2, 3. So what's it going to do? It's going to go back to number 1 again. Hit the time. There's the get part, walk to storage, pick stock. Get part, walk to storage, pick stock. Just hit the time every time it ends here. If I want to edit my elements, I can stop it. I can return to that previous screen just by selecting the elements here in the iPad. In the Android device, you would pick the menu and then the elements. And this will take us back to the same screen we're on here, where we can continue developing the elements here. Now we're going to look at one of the typical ones we have out here. So I'm going to come back over here and just say I'm done, and I'm going to select a template. So let's select my pick pack here, and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to look at the elements in here. Now this is a little more complicated now. Now you can see I've got my sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like I had before there. I'm using my required non-value added here again, and maybe I've got some non-value added. Yes, I do. If I scroll down here, you can see I've got non-value added here. We get various delays. This is an avoidable delay under the delay column. This is an unavoidable delay. And here you can see I'm using the categories here. This is a good example of how we set up a study. We're also using some selection formats to color the buttons here. So for instance, if you see this is the walk to stories as a blue and yellow writing. Down here I've got green with white and so forth here. And we've also got in here what we call lower levels. Now, some packages in the market just show you the one level at a time. It's very hard to visualize what's actually going to happen here. This is actually going to be sub-selection. So if I select pick part, it will come up with small, medium and large. Under large it's going to be light and heavy. If under heavy it could be over £20, 2 person. Under 2 person it would be easy to handle, awkward to handle. If I go back and I do this study here, and I show you how this works here. So here's my pick part here, right? I hit the start button. It says get work order. Now it's going to walk to storage. I've got a sequence defined here, and then I hit the time. And you can say pick a medium part. Now if I didn't want to do that, I would click on the pick part here, and here you see my options here: small, medium and large. Now you know when you've got other options where you see the dot at the end, that means there's more data down there. So if I select the large, it goes into light and heavy. There's more options under heavy, you can see it right here. Over £20 or 2 persons, it's building up the chain here. And here's my 2 persons here, which is easy to handle, awkward to handle here. So these are actually a drill down taking place right here. So if I select the easy to handle there, that whole information is all those selections are placed into my element right here. Now if I stop this and I go back and look at what it actually looked like again in the elements area, so here you can see the pick part. Underneath that we had small, medium, large. Underneath the large we had the light and heavy. Underneath the heavy we had over £20, 2 persons. Underneath the 2 person, easy to handle, awkward to handle. Now you can have up to 5 levels deep here. So this is the first level, this would be the second level, this would be the third level, the fourth level and the fifth level. So you can go up to 5 levels in your drill down here. The way we represent the drill down, as you see here, is by using the dashes. 2 dashes represents the second level. 4 dashes represents the third level. 6 dashes represents the fourth level, and 8 dashes represents the fifth level. 2 dashes represent each level as it goes down here, so you can visually see the drill down that is happening here. And this is very, very useful in making additional selections as you drill down. The other packages in the market, you won't see it as visual as this here.